Hello, and welcome to this 20-minute awareness of breath practice. Thank you for joining me and for taking the time to practice. Coming into a comfortable place, sitting or lying down, wakeful, alert, and undisturbed. If you are sitting, ensure that you have both feet planted flat on the floor and that your spine is straight, that you can sit in a posture that adopts a wakeful attitude. If you find that closing your eyes makes you feel too drowsy, you could keep your eyes just slightly open. Taking the very next breath with awareness. As you're breathing in, simply knowing that you're breathing in. As you're breathing out, being aware that you're breathing out. No need to try to control the breath or manipulate or change it in any way. Just letting it do what it always does, sustaining your life, inhaling and exhaling. And you're just being ever so curious about that. Where do you feel the breath? How do you know that you're breathing? Can you feel the rise and fall of the shoulders or the chest or the abdomen? Perhaps the temperature of the air as it enters or leaves your nostrils. Just this sitting here, just this noticing. There's no need to go anywhere or do anything. This is a non-striving approach, which can often seem a bit bizarre in a world where we're frequently doing. So cutting yourself a little slack when you notice that your mind may be kicking back into gear, tempted back towards the realm of doing. Because in reality, when you do notice that this is happening, that's the sweet opportunity for practice. Just come back to the breath. Again and again and over and over. perhaps today the practice is quite easeful. The mind is rather like a still pond, not a lot of ripples and waves, and it just stays quite contently watching the breath. Or perhaps, as can often be the case, there is much more turbulence in the mind, like the surface of a pond on a windy day, stirred up, waves washing to and fro. And if that is what you are noticing about your mind in this moment, explore aligning with compassion. See if you can invite a little tenderness to that busy mind. And rather than trying to control the waves, which in fact we can never do, exploring allowing them to be just as they are. And as the thinking rocks and rolls, the practice allows us to light our attention on the very next breath. Coming back, dropping into this breath. How is it? And so we practice this disengagement with the thinking, this unhooking from the story, not following it, choosing to stay rather than getting swept up in the waves. For just this moment, we could stay on the shore. We can observe, be curious, tender, non-judgmental. And very often, patient. For some of us, the more we enter into stillness, we may find the mind is almost like a rebellious child. Kicking up a little. That's okay. Let that be. How is this breath? We can only live one moment at a time, and in fact, within that moment, one breath at a time. And we can choose to be conscious of it or unconscious of it. So in this moment, choosing to be awake, conscious, alert, and mindfully observing this breath. Where is your mind now? Sometimes the thoughts and the feelings that can get entangled with the thoughts can be very provocative, very tempting. We may get lost in those waves for some time. When it's noticed, lost in thinking, it's a very sweet moment, because that is your moment to practice again. Thinking. What is my anchor? My breath. I feel it coming in through my nose, down into my lungs, expanding my abdomen, pausing, and I feel it leaving the body. A little warmer, perhaps, than when it entered. Breathing in and knowing I am breathing in. Breathing out, knowing I'm breathing out. Where is the mind now? This practice, in some ways, like fishing. When we can recognize that the mind has been hooked and is off on a thought trail, we can gently and non-judgmentally reel it back, bring it back to the breath, the anchor of our attention, the spot where we focus and come back to. Reel it in. And congratulate yourself for noticing and for reeling back in. Wakefully and gently aware of this breath. If you've noticed that your wakefulness has waned a bit, you could readjust your posture, sitting a little taller again, feeling that might even open up capacity for the attentive focus on the breath in the moment. Just this breath. And knowing that you're breathing it.